What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is the show where I take all of your questions and answer them here on this show. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and today we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. We have hit over 50 episodes. This is episode 51. So I want to thank you guys so much for your love and support. You guys continue to watch what we're doing here on Momentum Media. I've done a lot of great things with you guys, so I am so appreciative that you guys keep coming back and watching my content. If you haven't watched episode 50, where I interviewed my good friend Jeremy Evans, go ahead and check that out. I'll put a link in the description below where you can watch that. We had a really great conversation about what he does on his podcast, so definitely check that out. And if this is your first time ever watching any of my videos here on my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then hit that bell right next to it. That way you get all the notifications of every time I'm releasing a video here on my channel. So I want to continuously thank you guys for continuing to watch. And also, if you want your topic or question on this show, all you have to do, guys, is just send me an email at the AskAlexShow@gmail.com. That's the AskAlexShow@gmail.com. If you email me your topic or question, I guarantee you that, well, I can't always guarantee, but it could potentially be on my show. So thank you guys so much for your love and support. Now that we got that out the way, let's go ahead and jump into the first topic of today. And the first topic comes from a Nelson James, who writes, "Hey Alex, congrats on 50 episodes." Well, thank you, Nelson. I really do appreciate you guys keep coming back to watch my content. My question is, what do you think about the new image of Jared Leto's Morbius? I like it, but I still don't understand why Sony is developing a movie about a vampire. What are your thoughts about this movie? Well, thank you for your question, Nelson. I'm just going to be honest with you. Listen, this thing came out literally on Saturday. It's being reported that a trailer for this movie is going to come out on Monday. So today, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure after the end of this video, I'm going to definitely watch it. But the image came out, and I have to say that it looks pretty comic book accurate. I do like what they're doing with the whole making comic books seem a little bit more real. My only issue with this is that I don't really care to see a Morbius movie. Morbius is like a C or D line character in the Spider-Man universe. I'm not so sure if he has his own comic book run, but my thing is even if he did have his own comic book run, how are you going to tell this story? I don't understand it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I'm tired of seeing this resurgence of vampires being cool and killing people. I mean, this guy's origin story is he's a scientist who fell in love with Felicia Hardy, and he had a disease, and he thought by taking a vampire bat or a bat with some scientific serum, if he injected those elements together into his body, it would cure himself, but it actually wound up turning him into a vampire where he's feeding off people and killing them. So what? I mean, he's a villain. I don't understand the concept. Personally, I didn't understand the Venom concept either. I mean, the Venom movie came out. Not a huge fan of it, but it came out. Didn't really like it that much. And they're about to do a Venom 2. I do want to see a Venom versus Carnage, but if their fight scenes are going to be anything like Venom versus Riot, then I don't want to see a Venom versus Carnage movie. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't understand. And what Sony's trying to do, they're trying to build a franchise without Spider-Man. They're focusing on characters that are I would say related to the Spider-Man lore, but they don't have any significance, in my opinion, without Spider-Man. So for me, I don't really care to see this movie. I'm going to be interested to see what the trailer's going to be like when I watch it later on today. But personally, I am just like, whatever. But thank you for your question, Nelson. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Neil Kent, and he writes, "Hey Alex, so Tyler Perry has said that he does not have a writer's room. He writes/directs his own shows. Do you think directors should have or should write their own content, or should directors have others writers help them write their stories? Well, thank you for your question, Neil. What Neil's referring to, literally the past actually couple days, sometime last week, there was a video that surfaced that Tyler Perry is in this room, I believe somewhere in his studio, where he has scripts of stuff, scripts of content. And he stated that in all of 2019, and probably in all of his productions, he's written all of his stuff. And you know, this is something that he feels as though he doesn't need a writer's room to tell the stories that he wants to tell. So for me, I have two sides to it. As a director, as a writer, I've written, like, for instance, all the movies that I've put out, I wrote. The current movies that I'm working on now, I have written. I think that to be authentic and a little bit more creative, you have to challenge yourself in terms of the content that you want to see on screen. I mean, if you're putting it out, you're writing it, you're developing the time, then you do those things, right? If you feel the need to write your content, I feel it's great. And when I look at Tyler Perry's content, I mean, if I'm being honest, a lot of the stuff that he's written is actually great. So clearly he's doing something right. I'm not a fan of all of it, but some of the stuff that I have seen from Tyler have been good stuff, and he's written it. So I can't say that, you know, him not taking on a writer's room would have made his content any better, because it's already better, you know. So for me, I think it is important for directors and writers and content creators to write their own stuff, because it's more authentic. It's coming from you, right? It's you and your vision. Now, on the other side of that coin, for me, it's okay to have a writer's room, because not all directors are writers, and not all writers are directors. More people feel like they can tell a better story on paper than they can directing, and vice versa. So it's okay to have a writer's room, but in the course of having a writer's room, you as a director, whether this is your project or if you're being hired on as a project, you are supposed to inform the writers, this is the type of vision I want to go for this story. Can you come up with a story that aligns with this vision? And if you review the script and you like what's going on in the script, then cool. Then, you know, then that's where the great content comes out. Again, having a writer's room isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, but like I said, not all directors are writers. Not all writers are directors. Not all directors are actors. So, you know, it's like you want to give people at their strengths. You know, you want to put people at their strengths. And if Tyler Perry, which we have seen, one of his strengths is writing, one of his strengths is directing, acting, you know, that's, you know, to each his own. But, you know, but to be honest, like I said, like, he has performed really well with his content. So, you know, I think writing your own stuff and telling your own stories is the way to go. But at the same time, if that is not your strong suit, it's okay to have a writer's room. But what do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's great that he writes his own content, or do you think he should have his writer's room or have a writer's room? Let's start a dialogue about that. So thank you for your question, Neil. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question, which comes from a Steve Wayne. And he writes, "Hey Alex, so did you see Mark Fernandes' interview with John Campea? And if so, what do you think about Mark Fernandes' comments about how he handled the outcome of Collider?" So thank you for your question, Steve. So what Steve is referring to last week, Mark Fernandez. Let me do some history. So, if you guys don't know, Mark Fernandez canceled a lot of prominent programming at Collider, which was Movie Talk, Collider Heroes, Jedi Council, and a lot of other stuff to focus on premium content like For Your Consideration and deep fakes and comic book shopping and a lot of other premium content. He wants to revitalize Collider for what it is. This is what he is choosing to do. With that being said, he also did a town hall addressing he's still an employee, but an employee of Collider named Jack Hine in his comments. And he did basically an hour and 30 minutes town hall meeting about the future of Collider and addressing what Jack Hine said on Twitter. He also then, the very next day, he got on to John Campia's show, and John Campia interviewed him, and John Campia basically said that his relationship with Mark was very tumultuous. The last time they spoke, it was very heated, and since then though they've been according to him they've been good, but John basically says to Mark that the last time that they were in a room together, it wasn't good for either of them. But anyway, on the show, Mark basically answers a lot of John Campia's questions about the future of Collider and has Jack Hine been handled and all this other stuff. And my take on Mark Fernandez's comments are, so as a businessman, I've been in managerial positions before. I disagree with how he handled the termination of these prominent shows. He didn't even give them a farewell. Most of the talent have acknowledged that they didn't find out about the cancellation of these shows until hours before the press release. John Campia even said that I believe that you should have given them a farewell show. And Mark basically said, well, the reason why he didn't, because he didn't think that it would have been not necessarily necessary, but he didn't think that was the way to go for the company. So that was the decision that he made, which me and others disagreed with. I think that he has the right to do whatever he wants with his company. I do think that he should have handled it a whole lot better in regards to canceling shows and doing this other content. I will say I'm glad that he acknowledged that Jack Hine is not number two. I'm glad that he acknowledged that what Jack Hine said on Twitter was very asinine. And I'm glad that he acknowledged that he takes responsibility for the employees of his company, because they are a representation of his company. I will say this is that as a content creator, as a CEO myself, as a founder myself, you have to do decisions that you're not necessarily going to be okay with, but there's a way you go about them. And I feel as though that Mark Fernandez, although he's been very vocal about how he's handled it, I don't think that he handled it in the right way. I think John Campia did a really good job asking him the tough questions and being very respectful. But I think Mark Fernandez is just learning how to restructure his company in a way that he sees fit. And as a content creator, as a owner of a company, I can't fault him for that. I really can't. But what I can say is that I hope in the near future that what this content you're focusing on is going to be good for you and your company. So that's my prayer for that. But what do you guys think? You guys saw all this stuff surrounding Collider. What do you guys think? Jump into the comment section below. Do you agree with what I said? I even made a response video to Jack Hine. So if you saw that, I'm sure you guys know what my position is about Collider and how they've handled the things that they've done with Collider. So jump in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. And now, guys, we have come to the conclusion of the show with our final question. Our final question comes from Alena Jackson, and she writes, "Hey Alex, what do you think about the second trailer of the Birds of Prey movie. Well, technically, if you count the teaser trailer, this is like the third trailer. But so a new trailer came out for Birds of Prey, and I have been very vocal. And again, this is someone who's a huge DC fan. I've been very vocal about why they shouldn't be making this movie. I enjoyed the couple trailers that came out. Nothing too exciting, but I did enjoy them. This trailer, it didn't really show me anything different. Sorry. I mean, it wasn't all that great for me. I'm going to watch it. I'm interested to see where they're going to take these characters, but I don't really care to watch it. It's literally a Harley Quinn movie. And now they have made this movie rated R. Why? I don't know. I think that's kind of dumb, especially if this movie is supposed to be in the DCEU. You're making it rated R? Okay. Again, I don't know. I don't get it. I think it's dumb. But the trailer as a whole, it was okay for what it was. Again, I'm interested to see the movie, but they didn't really show me anything that was polarizing to get me sucked in. I mean, they're not really offering anything for me to be like, I gotta go see this movie. I will say this. I'm more excited to go see Bad Boys 3 than I am Birds of Prey. That's just me. So what do you guys think? You know, did you guys like the trailer? Do you think this is a great business move for DC? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And that would do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Ask Alex. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you get all the updates of every time I'm releasing a video here on Momentum Media. And also, guys, if you haven't already, go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/Momentum Media. Every dollar you donate helps us create great content here at Momentum Media. A lot of great things are coming out here, and I'm so glad you guys continue to watch what we're doing here on my channel. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, you have a blessed day.